We stopped the initial part of our bike trip because my friend Betty Ann was dying, and so we came home to see her. So after the funeral and after our daughter Shelley got married, we headed back to Nelson and to start our trip back from Nelson to Kamloops. So here we are setting up at my sister Teresa's house. That's my brother-in-law Bob and my son-in-law Brent, Tanya's husband. Bob is the owner of Right Wheels Bicycle Tour Adventure Tours, so he's got lots of equipment to get us started.
Alright, here we go!
Day one.
One day of hell.
Day one, leaving Nelson.
They're still upright, that's a good sign.
Absolutely.
And that is my daughter Tanya riding along with us.
We are getting our raincoats on because it's so darn cold and starting to spit a bit.
We think we've done 70 clicks today. Could have been less. Don't think it's more. We've done okay. Little rain, not much. Overcast is a nice way to travel. It's Kaslo, in the middle of nowhere.
The scenery between Kaslo and New Denver was absolutely spectacular. We followed this creek almost the whole way. Just sprinkling rain a little bit, but nice and cool for riding. Here we are at a rest stop just somewhere between Kaslo and New Denver. It's been pouring rain pretty much the whole way except for the earlier part of the trip. We've just put on our hoodies and my feet and my hands are freezing even though we bought these merino wool gloves. There was a lady we met here at the bus or the rest stop. She says we still got a fair jaunt to New Denver, but she says it should be down here most of the way. So starving to death and ready for some hot chocolate.
Let's see your backside, Wendy. Well, here we are in New Denver. The plan was to go from Kaslo to New Denver to the Summit campground between New Denver and Nakusp, at least that far. Well, when we went over the summit between Kaslo and New Denver, it started to rain. Well, it started to rain a lot earlier than that. But at the top near the summit, it was so cold. It was close to snow, but it doesn't really. And being the unprepared people that we are, we got completely soaked. Our feet were completely soaked, our hands were completely soaked. We didn't put on our rain pants because we were already wet. We had our nice jackets to keep our top wet, or top dry, pardon me. And by the time we got here to New Denver, we were in a state of hypothermia. We went for lunch. We consumed a whole bunch of food, which made us feel quite a bit better. But when we left the restaurant, we were shaking still. We're obviously in no condition to continue on. So we're staying at these, what do you call them, geodesic domes? Hotels in New Denver. Went into the hot tub. It was so hot at first we went in there. So that indicated to me at least that we were very cold. We went and stayed there for a while, then came back to our room and promptly fell asleep. It's now 5:30. We've been here for about 2.5, 3 hours, feeling completely okay. Our concern is if we continued on from New Denver to the Summit campground, we would never have dried out.
The lucky $5 bill, which I found 2 of on the trip. frogs hatching all over the place.
Looks like you're enjoying the sun, Bill.
Oh, it's just like heaven. We've had such terrible weather in the last couple of days. And to be warm again. You know, it means life is worthwhile. I'm not going to die. Well, maybe I am, but it's not going to be from freezing to death.
Here we are, pulled over somewhere between the Needles Ferry and Angel Falls, which is between the Needles Ferry and Lumbee, hanging out with some of our dry things, or wet things. We had kind of a downpour for a while. I severed one of the legs off my pants, as you can see. And there's William having a snooze after we had a little feast, picnic feast here.
How much further do we have to go today, Wendy?
We have to go probably about another 40 clicks, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe close to that. What you doing, Wendy?
Facilities are fine. I'm cooking a chunk of bison sausage. Last night when we were camping at Burton, BC, we met this couple named Pat and Gordon, and they fed us the spaghetti last night, and then he gave us some cured bison. So I had a little bit at lunch today, but Bill scared me that maybe it needed to be cooked. So I'm cooking it now, and I've had just my second piece, and it's quite delicious, because otherwise all I get for supper tonight is cheese and nuts and chocolate.
I eventually threw out the buffalo meat because Bill scared me I was going to get worms.
This is my classy dude, Bill Blair. He's got one of my twin nephews' wool toque on.
Wendy has the other nephew's toque on.
He's got a racing jacket on. Got some sort of half sweatpant leggings.
Charcoal socks.
Charcoal socks and some sort of a walking
King.
sandal.
And don't forget,
Oh yes, and
merino wool.
merino
gloves.
wool gloves. And he was too sketched out to try the bison tonight.
Exactly.